in. But listen, fantastic. My passport is at the ready if I'm needed. Believe you me, I can't wait. But yeah, great result, great performance, solid as a rock at the back. Always had that attacking threat with Jamie, with Harvey, and then with Damari Gray coming on, also with IOZ, obviously. Young Thomas making his debut at left back, had a fantastic game as well. Just a great all-round performance and deservedly ran out winners.
Jerry Taggart is joined by Steve Walsh here in the studio, and Chris Powell joins us via video link. Chris, what a brilliant result that was for the Foxes there.
Oh, they were outstanding from minute one. I mean, it was in stark contrast to the debacle on Sunday. They looked assured. They looked excellent defensively. I can't really remember Casper making too many saves. I think there was just one from a corner deflected off Wes. But they looked to fret all through the game, let alone on the counter in the second half when they're defending deep and repelling the Sheffield United attacks. Brilliant. And I mean, the cherry on top for me is you give a young player from the academy his debut and he looks like he's been playing there all season. He was so assured and settled into the game really well, and capped off by him having the assist for the first goal. I mean, a very proud moment for him and the academy and his family. But Brendan would be very, very happy. I mean, fullback-wise, Leicester have them in abundance when you look at Pereira and Chilwell not even playing and their first choice. But young Justin and Thomas are able deputies, and the future looks very, very bright. And, you know, European football coming to the KP, hopefully in the Champions League, but definitely that's a big lift for the football club.
Walsh, it's only right I come to you last, because on Sunday you were the encapsulation of dejection after that result against Bournemouth, but today you've got a huge smile on your face. You're absolutely delighted.
Well, yeah, of course, you know, it was a much needed win, and you know, from a performance point of view, it was dominant, it was ruthless at times, commanding, and it, like I said, it was almost like with ease. But like I said, they worked so hard, the whole team, all 11 players. Really pleased for Luke Thomas. His family will be proud of him. He's stepped in and done admirably well. So it's great to see the youth lads coming through, and like you say, Biggs and Tuck and Petty will be proud of him as well, which is great. But right through that team, it looked the right shape, the right, you know, even Bennett, you know, we've not said much about Ryan Bennett today, but he just, everything he did was composed. I don't think he gave a ball away once, you know, and the stats mounted up, and Sheffield United know they've been in a horrible game, that they've been outclassed. And
he looked bemused, didn't he?
Yeah, they didn't know
minutes.
what to do and how to counteract us, and we just got too much quality, and that's why we're up there. And don't forget, we're there for a reason, and everyone knows that we can slip back and we can have a run of loss of form, but you know, they've sustained it, they've kept the morals and how the game plans have been, and been managed by a good manager. So yeah, it's great to see, but it's still, you know, just wondering. There's 3 teams in it now: Chelsea, Leicester, and Man United. And I've got a feeling that Chelsea could miss out if Man U win tonight. I think it could be them. We're looking at their running. I think if we win one game, I don't think Chelsea will get a point now from the end of the season. But that's my opinion. I probably will be wrong. But I've just got a feeling that that's going to happen, and one win would do us. But still, we've got to do it. We're capable of winning the next 2 games. If you play like that, then you're certainly going to give any team a problem. And it was a real kind of, you know, people have been looking at saying, Leicester look good tonight.
Absolutely. Make sure you get your comments in. We want you to be involved with the show here, City on the Sofa from home. Send in your pictures and your reaction at full time there. You can use the hashtag then, now, again, and hashtag LCFC. Some of the best ones can be read out on the show. Still to come, we'll hear from Brendan Rodgers and a couple of the Leicester players after that fantastic victory, Jerry. But let's talk about Luke Thomas, because an assist on debut in your Premier League, keeping a clean sheet from left back or left wing back. He would probably have known about it yesterday, won't he? He probably struggled to sleep last night, dreaming about what he could do today, and that will have surpassed all of that, I'm sure.
Yeah, obviously he's got it out of the way now, and what a performance. You know, fantastic for him. Chris has already mentioned it, but not only, you know, you're talking about going forward and his, you know, a system will it go, but defensively, you know, we talked about very, very early on in the game, he switched off when Sheffield United got in behind us. But since then, since that moment in the game, he never put a foot wrong, defensively. And that's something that I'll always look at first when you're either a full back or wing back. What do you like defensively? What do you like under pressure? And he coped admirably tonight when he was put under pressure. So that aside, going forward, you know, he's got a hammer of a left foot, and he used that to great effect, setting up the first goal. So a fantastic evening for Luke Thomas, all his family, and all the coaching staff who's looked after him over the years.
Yeah, an incredible performance, and what a day for Luke Thomas. I'm sure he'll just wish that there was a stadium full of Leicester fans there that were able to watch him, but they were all watching at home and absolutely delighted, I'm sure, with his performance. Chris, you're probably in the best position to talk about his actual on-field performance, being a former left-back, of course, yourself. How impressed were you with him?
He was absolutely outstanding. I mean, I don't think you could wish, as you quite rightly said, for a better debut apart from possibly scoring, because he was so assured. Like Jerry said, Sheffield United would have known it was his debut. So what you tend to do is test the young player, see if he's got the attributes to handle it. And they put the ball in behind, and they didn't exploit it, but you thought, okay, they're going to keep doing it. And they tried to do it again, and he was ready for it. He made good decisions. You know, being a good defender and a trustworthy defender is when you look at your fellow defenders and they make good decisions defensively. And then the added bonus of when they join in attacking wise. But he did both sides excellently. He was very comfortable with the ball. He gave the right pass at the right time, whether it's cross-field or just a ball that was landing into the midfield. Very, very impressed with him. Looks like he's got a good future. You know, and I would expect him to actually play on Sunday. And why not? Because he's fully deserving of the shirt. And if Brendan feels that he recovers and he looks okay, I'm sure he'll play, and quite right too, because he's another one from the academy, like Ben Chilwell at left back, that you know, been produced by the club, and hopefully you know, he's got a bright future ahead of him.
The talk, Walshy, rightly, about Luke Thomas's performance will obviously be the assist for Jose Perez's strike, the opening goal for the Foxes this evening. But defensively, he was also so strong. The amount of times we saw him win headers, because he's not the tallest, obviously, Luke Thomas, but he was winning headers, and he was very competitive, very strong.
Yeah, he showed his defensive qualities, especially that cross-angled ball that they tried to play Sheffield so many times, and he just sat back and made sure that when the ball was switched, that he got across and he won the headers. You know, he totally dominated in that second half as well. He was brilliant, and when he had to do a job, he was tested. And as a defender, that's your first priority for me. But obviously, he's a wing back, and you know, he's got so many attributes. And from both flanks now, it was you know, there was problems for Sheffield, and my guess is that, you know, looking at Tottenham on Sunday, you'd play that team, you'd start that team again, wouldn't you, if they were all fit? You know, it's just great when we can perform like that, and it's frustrating when we, you know, the second half at Bournemouth. But you know, when you look through the season, there's not that you know, you can say what you want. There's always going to be a time when something's going to go wrong for you, and it totally did. Too many players had, under par performances. But tonight, they were all bang on, on the button tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Bang on it this evening. Leicester 2, Sheffield United 0. Let's see how you guys at home have reacted to that 3 points. Fee House says, brilliant job, Leicester City. Perez and Gray, she's obviously delighted at home, a regular contributor, Fee House, so thank you very much for that one. Up next, we've got a picture of Leicester City and the Champions League logo being pressed at the same time. Now, not quite yet, but Leicester are guaranteed European football next season, and Kieran says your man will be over the moon. It says no pressure, Brendan, for the top 6. Obviously, Leicester City are in the top 6. It's an absolute guarantee they will be playing European football next season. That's the big headline, Jerry. Barring, I think it's a 20-goal swing, we can fairly confidently say that.
Yeah, fantastic achievement by everybody. I think Brendan was quoted on saying that he was brought in to try and break into that top 6, and he's achieved it in his first full season. So, obviously, the icing on the cake is maintaining the form and the performances and the results till the end of the season, and breaking into the top four, which then will just become a mind-blowing season. Considering the youth and inexperience that this team have. Now we can only make excuses for them for so long, and time will come when that will stop. But I've said it time and time again, this is a very, very youthful Leicester City side, especially in the forward areas. And we've seen some of that tonight, some naive decisions when the game should have been, dead and buried a bit sooner. But if you look at the season as a whole, or if you look at it up, we've got 2 games to go. Leicester City are in Europe. Come on. It's a great achievement by everybody.
I'll tell you, the competition for places now is really hot. And you look at Sorenchu, you look at Chilwell, they must be looking over the shoulder now thinking, I'm going to have to work hard to get back in the team at the minute, with them performances. So it's great that we've got, the squad and the youthfulness, like you said, Jerry. I think that for the next few years, the future looks really, really good. And give Brendan time to bring in a few more of his players, which he's not thrown any money away in any way, shape or form. We got good money for Maguire, which he's not touched. So really, it is. I know we're in a real positive mood, but in football, you can just go back to last week and then suddenly to put on a performance like that after a bad one, is credit to the pressure tonight was huge on them players, and that's why I can't believe that they played that well in a sense. I thought it might have been a few indifferent performances, but they were bang on it tonight.
Jerry, I gave you a warning just before the final whistle. I was asking for your man of the match. Before you do give us it, we've also asked you guys at home via a poll on Twitter who you think the man of the match was this afternoon. Let's take a look at those results now. Well, they're not seeming to be loading on screen. I can just have a look there. From what I can see on Twitter now, Luke Thomas has 52% of the vote. He's winning by a distance. Jamie Vardy with 32%. So we will get that poll up as soon as we can get the figures there. But yeah, Luke Thomas convincingly winning the poll as voted for by the fans, Jerry. Now, do you agree with it?
Yes and no. Far be it from me to take it away from Luke Thomas. I think he's had a fantastic game and he deserves it. But I watched Yuri Tielemans have the best game in a Leicester City shirt for me this evening. And when you watch week on week, and you're watching a player, and you're hoping him to do better. You're willing him to do better. Well, tonight was that night where I watched Yuri Tielemans have the best game, in my opinion, in a Leicester City shirt. So when you see that, it's very difficult to not give him man of the match, and that's the only reason why Luke Thomas or even Wes doesn't get it, because that's the best game I've seen Yuri Tielemans have. And
even Ndidi and people like that, they were
Absolutely.
all on a par, to be honest. If you could give 5 of them out, you would have done it tonight.
Without a shadow of a doubt, but we're used to seeing people like Ndidi do that time and time again. Tonight, Yuri Tielemans was doing things that we haven't seen a lot of. putting pressure on the ball, winning challenges, intercepting, using the ball quickly, using it well, putting people away on the counter.
Yeah, it's the best I've seen him as well.
So that is why Yuri gets it.
And it's something that was echoed on Twitter as well. A lot of the fans that were messaging in, Chris, were talking about Yuri Tielemans, the way he was playing in midfield. I think someone said he was orchestrating that midfield, the best player on the pitch at times in that first and second half, really. The whole game, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a quality player who, has been schooled brilliantly at his previous clubs and obviously now at Leicester. But I thought the spine today, Wes, Tielemans, Vardy, were instrumental. The spine was so good. I could put Wilf in that, but obviously, like the guys say, he's been doing that all the time. But I think Tielemans, it was almost I want to be in the Champions League performance. He's doing things that he hasn't done because he wants to make up for not only Sunday, but to propel the team back into Europe. And Jamie was what he always does. Wes coming in, leading from the front. And you've got the young lad who obviously, because he's so young, coming into such a pressurised game, I can see why people will lean towards him as MOM. But Tielemans, I mean, not only on the ball, he was tigerish off it. He's not known for that. He's not known for it at all. I always look at him and think, yeah, he's going to be creative and he'll score a goal, create a goal. But actually, he did everything else as well as that today. And maybe that's the sort of play you're going to see over the next few years because he's got it in him. And maybe people thought he hadn't, but he's got it in him now. And, I think he's going to be a wonderful player who's just going to grow and grow over the years.
Yeah, terrific performance from Yuri Tielemans. Now, Jerry, I know you like an irrelevant stat, so I'm going to throw this one at you to see what you think. Leicester City have now won a Premier League game on all 7 days of the week. Tonight's win over Sheffield United is their first top-flight victory on a Thursday since 1985.
I did know that, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you like that one then?
Of course he did.
No.
He doesn't like it because you've told him, Batesy. That's what it is.
That must be what it is.
No,
Jerry
I
Taggart
did
came with all the
actually
stats.
Look in his notes. He's got it written down, look.
I did actually read that somewhere today that they'd never won on a Thursday night. I think they'd lost 3 and drawn 2 before this evening. So there you go.
Well, hopefully Leicester won't be playing on too many Thursday nights next season. Obviously, 2 big games to play between now and the end of the season as Leicester push for that Champions League place, Walshy. Spurs and United left.
Yeah, it's an opportunity again. Like I said at the start of the programme, we've been in the top 4 since September, so it'd be a crying shame now if we didn't finish in the top 4. It'd break a few hearts, but the belief's there. I think personally we're going to do it. I think it's going to be tough, but we're going to get there in the end. Like I said, I've just got a feeling Chelsea are not going to get another point and we're going to get 1 win after the 2. Maybe 2, but let's not get too excited at the minute. It can soon change in football, but the difference in the money pots, I really hope that Leicester can get there and repay some money to the chairman for all his effort and what he's putting into the football club as a whole. The training ground you see is absolutely incredible. So the stage is set for, it's a club that people will want to come and play for and sign for, and they're well looked after, these players, we know, and our owners strive for the best. So that's why this game was absolutely monumental tonight.
It will give them such confidence, Jerry, and so much momentum as well going into that game with Spurs on Sunday.
Yeah, again, it's a massive game. It is. Everyone talks about the business end of the season, and this is what they mean. We are right in the thick of it, right in the middle of it, with all the big boys. They're all chasing us down. We are right in there with a great shout. We play Tottenham, we play Manchester United. It doesn't get any bigger. It doesn't get any more exciting than this, and this is why we love football. Bring it on.
Absolutely. A rallying cry from Jerry Taggart. If only we could just leave it there. No, but we want to hear from Brendan Rodgers and a couple Leicester players as well, so we'll stay on until we have those. But Chris, the difference now, from how we were all feeling, and you yourself, of course, on Sunday after that Bournemouth game, is immeasurable, isn't it?
It certainly is. I mean, in my mind, I was thinking you couldn't choose a worse team really to play. Next game, Sheffield United have been flying, beat Chelsea. I mean, when you look at it, they beat Chelsea quite easily, and they would have been in a very, very good place. Maybe they took Leicester lightly. I can't really see Chris Wilder doing that, but psychologically, maybe they felt we've just beaten Chelsea. We're going to Leicester, who've just lost at Bournemouth. So it may not be as difficult as we envisage, but no, I mean, Leicester this evening should be very, very proud. Every single fan of the club should be very proud of that performance, because it was top level. That was top level from every single player in a blue shirt, because it was a perfect response. It was full of passion and desire and quality. It had everything. I mean, Brendan be ever so pleased, and you got to credit him, because some people thought he made a few mistakes, taking Kelechi off at half time and sort of changing the balance of the team. But he stuck to it this evening, and they've given him a performance. They've repaid him and repaid the fans, and it's culminated in European football. But you have to go to my boyhood team on Sunday, and I'll be there. And it won't be easy, because Spurs, now they've started to get a few results. It'll be a really good game, actually. I'm really looking forward to that on the back of the performance this evening.
There may be your boyhood team, Chris, but after doing 2 shifts on City on the sofa, surely your heart will be wanting Leicester to win that one on Sunday.
No comment.
You do realise, Chris, you do realise if we'd have lost tonight, you would never have been on this programme again. Do you know what was really important after conceding 4 goals as well was a clean sheet today. And Kasper's right up there now. Is he the leading clean sheet specialist? I don't know, but he's joined, I think, on 14. Is my calculations wrong? Is it 13? I'm not sure, but that was a great, solid defensive. There was no real worries or threats really that came from. They had a few spells, but nothing really worried Kasper tonight.
And Jamie Vardy as well, Jerry, we touched on it during the game, the fact he's 3 goals clear in the race for the Golden Boot. He's never won it himself. But the amount of times tonight that he was through on goal and he looked to pass and playing players that were in a better position, and eventually we saw it paid off with the assist for Demarai Gray.
Well, you've heard him say it himself on many occasions, that the most important thing is that the team wins. And I firmly believe that is his philosophy. That, if the team wins and I don't score, so what? And you've seen that tonight again. If the chance comes his way, then invariably we know that Jamie Vardy tucks him in the back of the net. It just didn't quite happen for him tonight, where he didn't quite get himself in the right position, apart from that once where he's hit the outside of the post. And so what he does when he's not in a position to take, where he thinks he's not in a position to take a chance on goal, then he'll try and put somebody else in. And again, he did that to a great effect for the second goal. So, again,
very
it just shows you,
unselfish play, and he linked well. He's starting to think really well, and not only now does he make good runs, he's a link-up striker as well when he has to be.
Well, we saw Barnes. It was a bit of a weird one, Chris, wasn't it? The Leicester formation, because Jose Perez seemed very central. Harvey Barnes then was on the left-hand side for a lot of the game. So it wasn't as if it was Barnes and Vardy up front together in a way, was it?
No, I think what they would have done would have looked at where would Harvey Barnes penetrate the best, and initially it was off the left, which we know he plays to good effect, and Perez I feel is better centrally. I know he's played off the right when the team played a sort of 4-1-4-1 formation. But I think because he's played so well, it just gives gives the team and gives Jamie Vardy someone close to him, where he could either link up or arrive in a box as he did for the first goal. But eventually it sort of morphed into Barnes coming a bit centrally when maybe the team were under pressure a bit more, and then they could counter because I mean he's as quick as Jamie, and that's why I felt Perez came off first, because the pace on the break was so effective, but it was very fluid. You know, Barnes off the left, and sometimes centrally, Perez might pop up there. But ultimately, Jamie's always down the middle, and rightly so. But he makes his runs either side to the left or right in those holes created by those players. And got the balance right up front today. I mean, they're all effective. It's a shame that, Harvey couldn't convert the chances he had. And similarly, Jamie, but then Damari came on and converted the one that came his way.
Jerry, I think another reason why this result can't be underestimated is we were talking so much about Sheffield United before the game, just how good they'd been this season. Mm-hmm. I don't think many clubs will have done the double over them this season, like Leicester clearly have done.
Most teams that play Sheffield United struggle to get a draw, never mind do the double over them. And, Walshy, made a great point that they come up against the brick wall this evening, Sheffield United. They had little spells where they had possession, they were probing down the sides and behind, whatever. But when it came to the crunch, they had no answer for the back line of Leicester City. And that in itself is no mean feat. I did speak before that their away form hasn't been great. Their home form's been fantastic. Their away form hasn't been great. They've only scored one goal in 4 games, but you still can't underestimate the threat, the attacking threat that they carry because of the way they play and the way that every player in that team, is homed in on the way they play. They're all very, very comfortable in their own skin playing that system. So that carries its own threat with it, even if they don't have the pace or, the skill of a lot of other players, other teams. So to make them look, dare I say it, average is no mean feat. In fact, it's a mammoth feat, and that's exactly what they did do. But they're not an average team. They are a very, very good team.
I think the way to sum it up, Walshy, is you look at the chances that Sheffield United had today. Off the top of my head, I remember that really good Kasper Schmeichel save at 1-0 that was bundled towards goal by John Egan. It wasn't as if it was a chance that was carved open through the Leicester defence, was it? That was their best chance, and it was just from a second ball at a corner, really.
That's all it was, the whole game. So it just shows you how solid that back three and the unit with the 2 wing backs work so well. And I just hope that your big West can recover quick, because, listen, in a game as big as that at Tottenham, he's going to want to play, but is he going to, 2 games in 3 days, it's easy to pull a hamstring or something. I'd hate him to, but I think he's crucial now for this run-in. These 2 games, obviously with Soyuncu out, and Brendan will be thinking, God, that was a solid. I've got to go with that, So I think that they'll be obviously protecting him now. He might have a couple of days. Obviously, have a hot bath and a soak.
2 days of an ice
2
days,
days, yeah.
He'll
Well, of course, you don't have hot baths these days now, do you not, Jerry? But listen, it's important that and I'm sure he will. He eats the right, everything's right with these guys. But he's still a very, very important squad player.
Well, barring injuries, Chris, really, you'd be surprised if Leicester made a change, I guess, going into the game at Spurs?
I'd be amazed if he does. It'll only be if players don't have the energy and haven't recovered enough to go through another tough game. More of the same, surely, because the balance looked good and all the players were at it as such. But it was important that they performed and gave a display that everyone should be proud of, and I'm sure he'll look to put the same players in. Now European qualification has been confirmed. It might just depend on what Manchester United do, because of course everyone wants Champions League football because financially it's better, but also the quality of teams that will be in the group, that's important. Europa League is still great, but Champions League. That's what everyone wants, and I'm sure he may look at it on Sunday to just make sure he's got the right balance and the right energy in the team to get another quality display.
At full time, Jerry, we saw the camera pan up to the empty stands at King Power Stadium. James Maddison was there with Mark Albrighton. They were both absolutely delighted at full time. And I guess we don't know what the case is with either of their injuries, but they're obviously very good players that would look to come back into this team. But the way that Leicester played today, you really feel, as Chris said there, you'd be surprised if they did make a change going into the game at Spurs.
Yeah, I think, the key word in Chris's statement there was balance, and the balance looked good tonight. And they're going to have to go to Tottenham, and they're going to have to be solid defensively for periods of time. But they showed tonight that they were solid, but always carried an attacking threat, and that may well be how they will have to play periods of the game when they get to Tottenham. We don't know yet. We don't know what sort of Tottenham they're going to come up against. But definitely earlier on the season, that was the case, of periods of the game. We took the game with Tottenham. We went in front, and then they clawed their way back in, had a disallowed goal for offside. And it was a really, really tight game. And I expect it to be no different come Sunday. So the first and foremost, you set your stall out, you're solid. Get a good balance and get players that you can trust to do a job as and when they're needed. And tonight, each and every one of them showed that Brendan Rodgers can put their trust, his trust and his faith in them.
Steve on Twitter says, fantastic performance there. He said, Thomas is such a prospect and Big Wes is still a legend. Sue Shelley on Facebook says, well done, City, great game, well deserved. Those youngsters did us proud. And absolutely they did, Walshy. And I think we joked, didn't we, about the left-hand side being from Syston and Countersthorpe in Thomas and Barnes, and then Hamza Chowdhury came on, and there was a spell for about 5 minutes or so where there was 3 local Leicester lads in that starting 11 that have all come through the academy here, and what better sight for Leicester fans looking at that?
Yeah, I mean, it looks great, and it's interesting to see, you've also got other younger players in the team, so the age, and the experience and the balance, like we've said, is a perfect blend for a successful team, and that's why we are in the top 4 for a reason, and we have been for all of the season. So, as much as there's still a lot riding on things, it'd be a crying shame now if we didn't finish in that top 4. It'd hurt, wouldn't it? But it is progression, it's development for these younger players, and I believe that. They're being taught well. The systems that we play, they understand, and it's great to see them given a chance. Yourself, me and Jerry, when you get your opportunity, I took it when I was 17, and that's what these lads are doing, and they've made a name for themselves. And I knew Luke Thomas. I've seen him, and he impressed me in the games that I've seen. I thought, what a player this kid is, and I wondered why he's not played before now, to be honest, but obviously the people who train with him day in day out, they know best, and when they're ready. And Brendan's he's spotted that, identified it, and he obviously watches him closely, brings him into the training sessions now, and you see Joe Hurst on the bench. I've watched him, and Darnell was on the bench. These are young lads, and it's just nice that they're being given the chance and the opportunity.
Absolutely, I think it's George Hurst on the bench, of course, for Leicester City, and Darnell Johnson as well, as you mentioned there. So exciting times, Jerry, from that side of things for a Leicester City point of view, that they've got these players and they keep bleeding through these youngsters into the first team, as they have done now for a number of years.
Yeah, and and also on the flip side, lad, it's saving the club millions and millions of pounds on transfer fees if they break in and become if they become an integral part of the squad. So again, there's 2 sides to that, to bringing them through, and also the other side is if they sell them, then they make not only do they save millions at the beginning, but they make millions at the end if they go and sell them. So yeah, it's it's fantastic that they're bringing these boys through, and it goes all down to the hard work. And Walshy, myself know, and obviously Chris, he was here as a coach, he knows all about the the coaching staff at academy level and how hard they work with these young players to get them ready to go into the first team. But ultimately, it's down to Brendan to make that decision. He'll take advice off all the coaches, but he's the one that, you know, sticks his neck on the line and makes that decision. And tonight, yet again, you know, Brendan's come up trumps.
Going back to that first goal, Chris, and talking about these youngsters as they are, the Luke Thomas composure and quality that he showed to set up Jose Perez was magnificent, wasn't it? Because he looked like he was shaping to cross and put a driven ball in and suddenly cut the ball back for Perez. It was quite brilliant.
It's great awareness, because it's very easy when you're under pressure, but you're in the wide areas, you tend to think, I need to deliver it, I need to deliver for the strikers. But he picked someone out. And that's good coaching, to be honest, because the way Leicester play, they do put some good balls in, but sometimes they're very aware of each other in and around the box. Sometimes when you think a shot's going to happen, they might pass into feet and combine. And that was a snapshot there from the young lad. And I always feel, you know, it's always a big decision for a manager. I've been there, but I've always liked putting in young players, but it's all about the timing. It always is. You know, they can be ready. Like Walshy said, he's seen him a number of times. And, you know, when you see a good young player, you think, well, he needs to be in that first team. But it's all about timing. Sometimes it's through injury. Sometimes you're just ready. And the manager's just got to have that belief in, you know, the physical aspect and the mental aspect that the player is ready. And obviously Brendan this evening thought he's ready, and he's put in a performance to justify that decision.
James Maddison has come out on Twitter. He's very happy. He says, what a result. A few facts for you. Luke Thomas is a special player. What an unreal debut. Yuri controlled the whole game. Best player on the pitch. And Damari trained so hard and deserved that goal. So happy for him. And the skipper is one of a kind, solid as a rock. So James Maddison setting the record straight on Twitter there, Jerry Taggart. Impressed, of course, with the performance, as we all are.
He must have been listening into the show. I think he's just reiterating what we've already said. So, yeah, he knows his football, does James.
Absolutely. Another man that certainly knows his football is Brendan Rodgers, of course, the Leicester City manager, has been speaking to LCFC TV after the game.
Brendan, a huge win. You must be very proud of the performance and the response after Sunday.
Yeah, it was our first 90-minute performance since we've come back. We've played well in other spells and games, but we had to play well over the course of 90 minutes. So now the players showed incredible quality. They battled when they had to. You had against Sheffield United, they test you physically, and that's okay, because when we're at our best, we're physically strong and aggressive. And we showed all of that. I thought our football was very good, played the shape really well. And we scored 2 goals, and you know, with a better pass or better finish, we could have had, you know, another 2 or 3. So yeah, an outstanding team performance and a great result for us.
We all know about the race for the Champions League, but that's a top 5 finish guaranteed. European football for only the 5th time next season for the football club. It's a huge achievement, isn't it? Yeah. It's, you know, if you think back, we go back a year when we were setting our goals for the season. You know, we were our main goal was, could we break into the top 6? That was going to be a monumental challenge for us because of the competition, the clubs, and the budgets that are ahead of us. But together we've been able to do that, and we've done it as a collective. And I'm so proud of the team. And now they've achieved that goal. We've got 2 more games to go, and yeah, let's see if we can go and create some more history. Given the pressure on the players and the prize that's on offer, is that one of the most satisfying wins of the whole season? Yeah,
most definitely. I think we've talked about that element of it, the pressure side, but we need to play our football. I think we've been too anxious for too many performances, and but tonight was just about playing our game.
And 19-year-old Luke Thomas, how about that for a debut?
Yeah, he was outstanding. Great temperament, great composure, you know. But no, he's outstanding talent and great performance.
And just finally, the confidence now for these 2 cup finals that are coming up, it must be flowing again in the dressing room.
No, that's more like us. We've been like that for a lot of games this season, and we are where we are because of that. So we showed tonight we're a good team again, and played with good purpose, good intensity, and we'll get ready now for Sunday.
Brendan Rodgers there, speaking exclusively to LCFC TV after the game. A very happy Brendan Rodgers, of course. Make sure you keep an eye out on Leicester City's social media channels for other interviews with a number of the players after the game. We're running out of time here on City on the Sofa, so Jerry Taggart, just sum up for us how big of a win and how important of a win that was for Leicester City.
Well, I think Brendan summed it up beautifully. You know, European football, top 6. He said it himself, that was his job when he came in, to try and break into the top 6. He's done that. I think that is a job very, very well done. We've got 2 games, you know, to get to football heaven yet again. And let's hope that the lads can fulfil Brendan's wishes by going and playing the football. And I'm not getting nervous. He said they were a little bit anxious, or they've been anxious for too long. So it's important that they go and play the football. And if they do, then we're in for 2 great games.
Walshy, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you?
Yes, 15.
Absolutely, great answer. Thank you very much for that one, Steve Walsh. Yeah. And finally, Chris, we were worried after the Bournemouth game, but we invited you back and you've repaid us with that win. So thank you very much as well for coming on.
Cheers, Chris.
No problem.
Cheers, Chris.
Brilliant performance by the team. Excellent.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, thank you very much as well for all of you guys for sending in your thoughts and views during the show here on City on the Sofa. But do make sure your passports are at the ready, because Leicester City are going on another European tour. Thank you.